when it comes to the physical world, you're dealing with limitations. In the physical world, everything has a limitation. If you're dealing with limitations, you have to be consistent. You have to develop your rhythm in consistency. So, more consistent you are within the limitation, the freer you become, because then you have a rhythm to follow. It's just like dance. If you don't know how to dance, you keep on counting. I should take a step forward, back. Yes. The rhythm helps you to move forward. In order for you to have rhythm, you have to have consistency. Now, you go to your spiritual development, it's the exact opposite. Break every rule, break every consistency, break everything, including what you believe yourself. Constantly go towards something new, something that you have not experienced before. This is the way to keep your spirit happy. When you repeat something, your spirit becomes sad because your spirit doesn't believe in limitation. Your spirit wants to expand. So when it comes to your keeping your soul happy, eliminate everything that brings attachment. Constantly go for new things. And this is something that I keep on talking about in so many different ways, that in order for you to be happy in life, you have to look for things that you don't know how to do. That's how you develop yourself. To keep your spirit happy, see things with new eyes. See something that you used to completely different, with different colored glasses, no matter what it is. Constantly look for new things and do new things. That is how you keep your spirit happy. And when it comes to your body, exact opposite. Repeat the old things. Develop a system. Work within a limitation of a system. Develop a rhythm. There are certain messages that we receive, but not through limitation, through freedom. So when you just lie down and you become high in your own world, that is the world that you can really, truly experience new things, new things. Sometimes I'm in that world and I imagine that I'm a woman and I'm seeing through the eyes of a woman. How does a woman see a rose that is different from a man seeing a rose or anything else? And in that world, suddenly I get attracted to something, and brush and paint are on the canvas. You have to begin with the world of freedom. And when you apply the brush on the canvas, apply it the way that you know. Find it in yourself. Don't find it from others. Because the moment you find it from others, you bring a limitation to your work. You bring a limitation to your soul. So do it your way. Don't go after learning how such and such did what. Do it your way. Keep on doing it. And then you develop your way, not other people's way. And your way is always beautiful because it is you, not a limitation of copying something. All right, enough of that. Is there any question?
I think it's interesting because I think most you do see that a lot. I think it's kind of a human, I don't what is it? The dilemma, right? Like, do we focus more like how do we get the balance between, you know, attending to our physical and then to our spiritual? And I think sometimes someone like Rorik, uh, he was guided by that, right? By that vision, by that spiritual, whatever you want to call it, world. But it was very much part of his physical world because he had to physically, you know, be ready to go on those journeys too.
I had to just say, I was watching that or listening to that video you had about the hunters. I forgot what you called the flight. Is that what it was called?
Saga of Flight.
The saga of flight. And I was feeling trapped, I guess. And one of the things I do is physical. And my family laughs at me, but I rearrange furniture and I take the room apart and I move this over there. And I always feel like I have an inspiration after I rearrange all my furniture. So that's what I've been doing. And it makes me feel like I have a fresh new start.
You truly have the wisdom of madness.
Me too.
I wanted to say what you suggested today to all of us to do things your own way, finding your own way, finding what is pleasing to you, what makes you feel good when you do things. That is the journey for people who want to become artists, for people who are going on the journey of finding the freedom of the choice, the wisdom of madness. That's the journey. The journey, you're inviting us to that journey. So, yes, Rorik was on a journey, not only physical, the physical aspect of it was actually more of finding the spiritual discoveries.
And this is the beauty of life, because if you take care of your physical being, then you have a lot more freedom for your spiritual development.
I had just come home from the hospital, and I am a very healthy person. I take care of myself. I eat well. I exercise. Yakety yak. Anyway, got sick. I had to go to an ambulance to the hospital. Spent a couple nights there. Talking about the physical was really interesting because I haven't been in a situation where I had to be, tied to a lot of tubes and, laying down and not eating and all of that. So anyway, fast forward 7 days later, yesterday, I said, okay, well, I needed to rest, but I really, really wanted to paint. So I painted and I came up with a bird at the bottom of my painting because there were blackbirds that were visiting the backyard. And I love Nicholas's work. Rorik's work is amazing. And I picked one of his paintings that had light on the mountain. And I was like, God, I just, love that color and I love the sky and I want to do that. And so I had, the birds. The bird came on its own. I was free, not even thinking. Had background, but the background was in a couple different colors. And most of the time with my paintings, I struggle because I don't have color theory. I just kind of go for what feels good. So I never have a problem there, but I don't know how to sketch or draw. But I really wanted to do those mountains. And so I started looking at one of Rorik's paintings and then tried to get it in the background. And I ended up messing it up so bad. And because I'm just feeling really emotional, out of the hospital, this and that, I got so mad that I literally in my mind thought, I'm just going to take some scissors and just rip through that canvas. I'm going to just give away all my paints. I was so upset I had to go take a nap. I literally had to go take a nap. And I laid down and I just said, I think I'm done. I just wrote my additional check for Rassouli. I love this group. I love painting, but I think I got to give it all away because I just never really land anything cool on the canvas. I have fun doing it, but it's not anything that I can like show, or not that I want to, it's not my life to, have an art gallery showing or anything like that. I just like to paint just to paint. So anyway, I woke up. Sorry, guys. I woke up, came back down, looked at the painting, and I was like, oh, it's not as shitty as I thought. Okay, I'll just go back to it. So I spent another 45 minutes just kind of putting some color on it. But I just played around with the eyes on the bird at the bottom, and I was like, you know what? That bird part is the only real part of the painting, because it just came, and it was just, and that just felt good. I wasn't really happy with the rest of it, but I guess my reason for telling you this is that I just appreciate what you just said, because, you're right. It's like the physical, and I got a reality check on it, that I am really limited in the physical body. And painting really is the only place that you can just honor spirit and just let it come through. And so I'm sitting with and trying to walk through not having so many expectations on myself about having an end product.
Just enjoy.
Do you know what I mean? I just like to paint, and I just sometimes it's just cool to like see, oh my gosh, that's like really something cool that just showed up on the canvas, and I'm having a conversation. But sometimes I get frustrated because I don't usually end up with something that's like, oh wow, that's cool. I should display it on the wall. And my daughter, in all her wisdoms, I was telling her, oh, I got frustrated today with a painting. And she said, Mom, she said, all of us are so having to like deliver all the time, meal. She goes, especially you. She's like, meal planning and cooking. You got to have a product. You got to go to the grocery store. You got to like have results at work. She's like, painting's the place where you can just, you don't have to have a product at the end of it. And I just thought that was really wise. But anyway, just thank you, Rassouli. Sorry it took up so much time here, but I just wanted to share that. And I just love that you just started this class with that physical limitation, and then just, be free and allow spirit. And just thank you for the message. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And
May I say something in
Sure.
here as a art therapist, psychologist, whatever? The physical journey that you went on, which was whatever you were dealing with, your painting and yourself, your physical self, and the painting itself, the physicality of the painting, led you to this spiritual awakening, led you to find healing. And from what you shared right now, you reached a healing point. And that's what art does. This is the beauty of the artistic journey.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for that beautiful sharing, because
Yeah.
something that we all felt, couldn't express it as beautiful as you did.
And you took it away from me, because I was just going to say,
Sorry.
I want to congratulate you, Bethan, because you just crossed the bridge. And now you're on the other side. And this other side is your new life. This new life that is, you definitely going to be appreciating it a lot more than you used to. And See, as we get older, uh, our our energy to move upward reduces. That energy that takes the tree to go upward, it comes very strong at the beginning to have it break through the rock and through the earth and come up and goes, but as it moves, it begins to lose its strength, its power. Goes, and gets to a point that it's all gone. There is no more power for me to move upward anymore. But while that power, remember, energy never dies. Always remember that. The energy that was taking you upward begins to expand horizontally. So your life begins to expand horizontally. That means enjoying the journey more and more. When the energy was going straight upward, it was a goal. It was a direction that was set, and the limitation that was pushing it completely to go directly towards the sun, towards the light. But now it's time to start expanding. So as you get older, your your expansion becomes horizontal. So your growth is not vertical anymore, it's horizontal. So the life that we experience becomes horizontal. Now, if we don't, we lose it. If I'm going to this magnificent scenery, let's say, of Niagara Falls, and close my eyes, and I'm missing the whole thing. So when we're in this beautiful world that is around us, beautiful world, and I experienced with that rose that it was expanding, which was Kavita's gift. And I began to learn a whole life from the rose, from the moment that it broke through the ground and came up, and the thorn that began to expand, and just on and on. And I don't want to get into that now, but the nature taught me so much that suddenly, bringing the whole concept of Rorik and nature together, I thought, the art world is always against landscape paintings. They look down at it. The value of landscape paintings are nowhere close to the other type of works that we see. And then all of a sudden I realized it's because of the landscape painters. They did not really, they just reflected what a camera can do it too. They put a little bit of emotion to it, technique to it, all of that. But they didn't really do the landscape. So this guided me to a new session that I want to run in summer, which would be painting the nature of nature. The first nature is lowercase. The second nature is uppercase nature. So it's a painting the nature of nature. And that really guided me to this whole new direction of painting the nature of nature. And that would be a landscape painting. But that's besides the point. I don't know why we travel so fast in this whole different direction. All right. Let's go to the story of the birds and what happens to them. Actually, that connects with the discussion we had as well. It's the limitation of the trap that has stopped that freedom of flying in the space that the bird has into this limitation. So the idea now becomes experiencing new things for the spirit and becoming consistent with the physical realm. So you develop strength and power. So let's begin with looking at some of the works that you've done on this very first part, that the spirit falls into the trap of the physical limitation. So metaphorically, that's what the story is. Spirit is falling into the trap of limitation, and limitation is putting so much pressure that the spirit is becoming very hostile to its environment, becomes a naysayer, becomes, I don't know. We know so many of that, those type of spirit. So now is the awakening time. And the bird is looking for ways to be free, looking for the freedom, and goes after where we're going to get into the second part of the story. But let's look at the first part of the story, the limitation. Some of the works that you've done.
And this is by fusion artist Bibi. Inspired by life, the title is Blowing in the Wind.
The expression is reflected in the brushworks. Feels like it's in the movement, in every direction. Even the sun is moving, clouds are moving. The whole thing is truly in the wind.
Bibi, what Rassouli said earlier about you having that hint of madness, but like the art madness, I really feel that, and it's so exciting and inspiring, all of your paintings, because I feel that when I look at your artwork that I go through that with you, just like everybody's artwork. You bring the journey. I don't know if it's just to me, but I feel like I'm there with you in the painting and that I experience that. Your colors and your different ways of expressing, it's just like a conglomeration of wild goodness. I don't know how else to say that.
Well, thank you. It's interesting. I do, Beth Ann, relate to you. I often, most of the time, feel, oh, I don't even want to share this. This isn't worth it, or something like that. And I have some good news to share. I can't even believe it, but I sold 3 of my paintings. I sold the one that we did with Blake. I sold the one that we did with Alphonse Munch, and the one that we did with Frances MacDonald. And this person just told me that she wanted my art, and I was just, oh yeah. And finally, she called me up and said, I really mean it. And I was like, wow. Great. So I was, that was kind of a bit of recognition or something that I wasn't in any way anticipating, and I didn't believe her.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay, Bibi!
Exciting. Great.
I think too, what I was going to say about your art is, when Rassouli says, land the brush your way, I think you're definitely someone that I look at and I see like, oh, you're definitely doing that. This is Bibi landing the brush.
Yes.
The image is definitely a reflection of you. the brush strokes, Rassouli talked about this. The brush strokes are the vibrations of the artist, vibration of the hand of the artist. It is you going on a journey being reflected in the image.
I sometimes feel like, I see these artists who are able to do little work,
Yeah.
detailed. And, I try to do that and I just finally can't do it anymore. It's like there's so much that has to come out in such a big way or something is how I analyze it. And, I feel like there again, I just have to give it up and do what comes out. So I totally understand you, Beth Ann. I go through that all the time.
Oh, it's nice to meet somebody that's that's so cool. And I have to say, same thing that Giddy said. It's the brush strokes, and it's like you can really feel it and just see the freedom and the stop and the go. And it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do you best for both of you.
Rondi, I have to thank you so much for sharing your trip with us. I can't even believe it's so beautiful and artistic and romantic. Oh,
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And like I said, I posted on Facebook. I normally never even go on there, but I post for my friends, and please go and enjoy the photos. They're really amazing, and it is quite a journey. But I think you do you best, and that I see a transformation in your work as you put this out. I see a person walking through a landscape, and it's just full of light. And I think the light, the yellow, is like the freedom, and you're coming out of the limitation that you've once been in, with the stuckness or about feeling like you need to be somebody else. You're a wonderful you.
Thank you. It was after I rearranged furniture.
Exhausting.
Nice.
Phoebe,
Thank you,
can I just
Phoebe.
say that your works are so incredible. So I'm always so surprised when you say I was frustrated or I didn't like this, because what I see is something completely different to your words. And when you're creating, when you're such a divine messenger as you are, then I feel you have an obligation to paint.
If somebody helps me to keep Bibi away from standing back after she has delivered the mail to figure out what is in that mail, that's the only thing that Bibi needs now, just to stay out of the way of what is in the mail. Just deliver the mail, as you're doing so beautifully.
Over here, Bibi and everyone, just waiting for your mail. Just remember that.
With what you were talking about and Beth Ann, it actually kind of intersected with one another. This particular class, and Rassouli is like a soul doula, is the term that I use, because he is providing a space where we as artists, as beings, as probably women who have dealt with a lot of criticism, whether it's our own or from others, and therefore we've generated these expectations that they color our reality, but it's not really our reality anymore, and we just have to see that it's not our reality. And with Rorik, it's that way as well. The saga of flight, you feel like you're trapped and you're pressurized, but it's that pressurization that helps the diamond of the heart emerge. And every person's art in this class, it's not just art, it is a message every single time. And through this class, it's that exploration of yourself and allowing yourself to go through those periods of pressurization so that you're able to be free. So I feel like Rurik is actually a main holder also for the class in this particular section, the Saga of Flight, because each one of us are finding our limitations, our pressurization, and how we can burst out of that and become free.
Wow. I wish we had more people like you in this world.
Yeah. Very good, Kate.
Yeah.
Beautifully
Yeah.
said.
Thank
Yeah.
you. The bird at the bottom is what I started with, and then I tried to do a little, Nicholas, because I just loved that one painting with, all the, well, he has so many mountains in his paintings. It was quite a journey yesterday.
Wow.
Fabulous.
At the end, this is just evoking a lot of emotion in me as well. I feel it. And the bird on the bottom, it's funny because it's almost like a shadow confronting you, that pressurization. And then as you go up where it's in the mountain, it is that freedom, even though you were resisting it.
The beauty of this is that the black bird is happily landing. That is the message that you just talked about, how you receive it, the bringer of the message of allowing you to have your full freedom. The freedom has landed.
And in native folklore, crow is messenger.
Oh, I was wondering about that. I was trying to look up because normally we have doves in our backyard. And when I got back from the hospital, there were like 4 or 5 very big black crows in the backyard, just like taking up residence. It was uncanny, literally. I looked out my back window and one of them was just staring right at me. And I'm like, okay. Alrighty
That's
then.
odd because I had a bunch of them. They were making so much noise. I went out to film them circling around and around and making a big ruckus. And I had never seen that before.
Me neither.
It
Yeah, it
always
was
makes
really
me
weird.
wonder, animals sense things before we do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
had them in my backyard too, which is very unusual.
Really?
Huh.
Wow.
There was 2 of them, and I thought they were setting up housekeeping, looking for a nesting place to nest. But I was concerned that they were going to attack my dog. But I just had a discussion
Wow.
with them to say, you're welcome to stay, but do not hurt my dogs. But it's interesting that all 3 of us saw them in our backyards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I told you earlier, congratulated you for having crossed the bridge. That was even before I had seen this painting.
Oh,
And this is showing the nature of the mountains. This is a great time for you to keep on doing painting on small papers or whatever it is and throw them away just for the trash can. Just keep on doing it because you are finding your path now. The spirit of the bird and the spirit of the mountains against each other. Lovely work, lovely work.
It's beautiful. Really beautiful, Beth Ann. And what it reminds me of is the shadow that we all need to face. And it's like you went through the dark night of the soul. And that's our shadow self. We have to look at ourself and look at the shadow part of ourselves. And we don't like to do that. We can usually see it in somebody else. Oh, I don't like that about that, or I don't like that. But we need to just pull that back and say, okay, this is about me. And you went through that. You went through that dark night of the soul, and the shadow was there, and the shadow has light. And the shadow is pointing up and bringing you into the light. These yellow mountains, I agree with Rassouli. They are, you know, they're the nature of the mountain. It's just the inside of that mountain that makes you feel the depth of the feelings that are there. And I think it's metaphoric too, that, you know, sometimes these are mountains that we put on ourselves that, you know, it's just a lot to put on ourselves that have been put there by other people. And we need to wash ourselves clean.
Next, we have fusion artist Bhavani, and this is titled Spirit Bird's Ascension to Shambhala.
This is a feeling inspired from Rorik. I love working on a circle as a representation of the self. I am pretty comfortable with madness. Been mad for quite a while. I practice madness daily. Standing in front of the art of altar encourages my madness. And I have learned that it's been revealed to me that I have an icon that I'm working with, a spiritual icon. And I have a responsibility to not question if it's good or not good, if it's sellable, or I just have had to surrender all of that. And that's what this piece is saying with the bird. The bird is flying into the center. He's really disappearing. And I love that. I feel like I'm disappearing. I'm actually doing something different today, physical. I'm standing because I get so tired of sitting. You know, with Zoom, you got to sit all the time. And it's like, oh. So I'm swaying and standing and seeing, how do I like this? And yeah, it's quite a journey. I would have loved to have gone on an expedition with Rorik. My husband likes to say he thinks he knows everything about what everyone else is doing. And I said, well, how do you know? How do you know what really happened on this expedition? I mean, he did 7,000 paintings. So it sounds to me like he was quite mad and obsessed. Maybe he had a lot of help, someone else doing the cooking and hauling all the stuff around.
All through the time that I was doing this video, writing about it and looking at the works and all that, I was thinking that Rorik is going to change you more than anything. You were with me in my mind as I was working with that, because I see a lot of similarity in the concepts and ideas. I see the mountains in this painting. I mean, I really feel everything about this Himalayas. We're seeing Himalayas from the top, from heaven. However, from a different world, it looks like from way up, we're looking down at the Himalayas the way you've painted it.
Well, it's very internal, an internal Shambhala, but it's also outside. You know, I'm here on the lake, there's birds. I mean, it's both. It is a dance. And so, again, the icon has this vision, and everybody's got their own. There can't be any copying of anyone else's icon. It would be impossible and wrong, I think, to even try. So that frees me. And that's kind of the feeling. The bird is flying into it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
It's called Spirit Bird's Ascension to Shambhala.
Yeah. I was just going to say the word Shambhala would behold everything in there. This is your Shambhala.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels like the bird, I don't know, there's a feeling like the birds are coming out of the depths of something, of the ocean, but not an ocean that we know.
Yes.
I see this as a painting as the area where the birds come in down to the trap.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see this. This is, taking me into a trap. Just looking at it, and I want to go down deeper and deeper into seeing what is going on in there.
The attraction of the trap. Yes.
For me, it has a feeling of Native American. And when I saw the round, I thought of a drum, and I feel the rhythm of it. I think that's what we were talking about earlier. To me, it has this rhythm from inside.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, BB, because when I look at it, I see a dream catcher.
Right.
It draws in the energy. And that's how I feel it.
Yeah. I'd love to wear it as a necklace piece.
Yeah.
The round and just having it, right next to my heart. It's beautiful.
Or a dress. A dress. Yeah.
Or a dress, I know.
Wear it as
A big shawl. A big shawl.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
That's the way you metaphorically show the birds in the upper part of the painting. Just feeling the flight rather than the birds.
And next we have fusion artist Cheryl, and you sent it to me untitled, Cheryl, so I'll let you share.
I really don't have a story. I just decided I'm just going to put some paint on the canvas and see what happens. And nothing seemed to happen after I got this far. So that's what we have. Has no title. It's just.
What do you mean by nothing happened? The image happened, Cheryl, and the image says it all.
Well,
yeah.
Everybody else seems to be able to figure it out, but I don't see anything in it. I just, it felt good. I loved the colors. Yeah.
Cheryl, sometimes, a lot of times actually, I don't have any title for my paintings. And based on the comments that others give, I find a title. So our discussions about your paintings in general would be really a good way to find a title in it. I think this would be where we can bring out the inspirational paintings as something outstanding, because even the title has come as a result of the inspirations that the painting has brought about. The rhythm that you've used in this painting is fabulous. You have strong landing of brush, soft landing of brush. It just feels like a dance. Spring breeze is just flowing over the land.
It's about freedom, because it's what I'm experiencing in my life right now. Just I'm experiencing freedom, simplicity. I'm enjoying nature. Life is good for me right now. I appreciate it so much more now.
I think Rassouli used the word rhythm. And I just want to say, you have found your own rhythm. You found your rhythm. Because this is not like your other works. This is totally a new way of expressing yourself through your painting. And you have found your rhythm in it already, in this style, in this way that you are expressing yourself. I keep thinking about Rassouli's puts this in my head, what he said today about the nature of nature. So this is like the nature of freedom. This is the nature of freedom.
every painting that you do is a new burst of all of that energy that is within you.
I see many faces around this yellow beak, which I think is a beak coming in from the right side. And there's 3 faces around that beak, to the right, to the left, and below. And the green that's coming, it's a swirl, and it looks to me like the point of the green as it goes into the white is a bird taking into flight.
I would title it, Cheryl, Dancing Through the Fog. And next we have fusion artist Chris.
I had fallen in love with Nicholas Roerich before he was introduced as a master, just because for me, he has the ability to capture the essence of, like you're saying, Rassouli, the essence of nature. And his paintings I feel the same way I did when I was in the Himalayas when I look at his paintings. And that for me is such a gift. The morning before you introduced Nicholas Roerich as the master for the week, I saw an egret fly over. And so the essence of the egret has really been with me over this last couple weeks. And this was my first chance to put it down. And I was also inspired by Nicholas Roerich's use of egg tempera. Because I am on septic, I'm trying to find an alternative to acrylic rather than putting plastic into the water and the land. So this was my first exploration with that.
Exquisite.
Yes, what a beautiful exploration it was, Chris. I love the strong form of the rocks and the mountains and the physical, and then the softness of the sky above, and that the bird is flying somewhere in between the physical and the heavens.
Beautiful.
Chris, I feel like it relates to the concept of the Saga of Light, because the way that you've depicted the egret here, it's almost, you can barely see it, but you know it's there. So it's almost like that freedom. You may not be able to see it right away, but you know it's there and you can sense it and feel it.
The first time that you look at this, you don't see the ego as much, but it keeps appearing, it keeps showing itself. No, it's just, now when you look at it after a while, that's what stands out, and it's the lightest part of the image, but it stands out because it is the strongest part of the image. So beautiful. Wow. My gosh, what's going on with everybody?
The bursting.
I just love the clouds, the way the bird and the clouds come together. Just everything is all in light. And then yet the legs of the bird seems to be the weight. They have, focus on them. They're the trap that is already, and you can see the leftover part of the trap continues along the feet of the bird. You made watercolor out of your tempera, yeah. Or did you use watercolor?
No. I mixed it a little bit with water because I didn't know any better.
Exactly. That's what I love that, because now you're developing your own technique. I love the sky, the way you've done it.
Yeah, the way you did it, it's like you can feel the mountain air. And next we have fusion artist Eluna.
I didn't have a title, but what's coming to me now is possibly balance. But it was really interesting because I've never done a sketch onto a canvas. It's always just come automatically. And so yesterday, really early morning, I got up to do this. It's a 3-foot canvas. And anyway, I copped out by using the pastels. And by the end of 12 hours, I said to myself, I was disappointed with it. I find it messy. whatever. I did what my guidance was, but I felt like I'd had a shift at the end of it, and that I'm ready to really splash paint onto a canvas now in total freedom, which I did do when I came back from you 6 years ago. And then I seem to have got into these, and for me, I just thought, well, what an overdose of mountains is that, or what? But anyway, I'm not being self-critical. It's just the truth. So this week I'm going to splash paint on a canvas no matter what happens.
Well, you have in this painting, particular painting, you have done the whole first part of the saga of the flight in one painting.
Yeah.
And it has evolved. What is so exciting about it is that as audience, we look at the painting as it evolves to us as we've seen the painting, the same way as you painted it. It just came to you. You never had an idea where to begin or where it's going to lead you. And the same thing happens with us. We look at a part of a painting and we just follow it to something else, not knowing where we get into. Lovely. It's a whole journey of the birds.
The 9 birds there, they were pilgrims when I started. So on the sketch, they were pilgrims against the moon. And by the end of last night, they were actually trapped birds.
Yeah.
And those things are supposed to be feathers, feathers everywhere. But yeah, anyway, whatever. I was pleased to be back to my easel. It's just so good to be back and back in Findhorn.
Elena, what time were you painting last night? You said last night. What time were you
No,
painting?
it was the starting. I woke up at 3 and then that's so, and I was actually in bed for 10 o'clock last night, which on a submission night is Guinness Book of Records because it's usually 3. So, but when Bibi said about moving furniture, I felt quite unwell because I've spent 6 weeks moving furniture from my flat in England and it's all empty completely now. There isn't even a speck of anything in there. So, yeah, stuff.
Aluna, I always find your paintings completely enthralling. They're an absolute feast, and I often don't know where I should start because everything's jumping out from everywhere, and you do take us on a journey. I'm completely drawn to the left-hand side and those shooting stars or falling rainbows, or I'm not sure what it is, but I love all of it. But that corner is stunning.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I
Yes.
love the colors.
Fabulous colors.
And it looks like
And this is
moonlight. Oh, sorry.
our fusion artist, Kitty. What a height of the mountain, the expanse of the fields, and the aroma of grass in the garden of my mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love all the colors. Wow.
The combination.
What I want to say about this is, I was thinking about what attracted the birds to land. What was the attraction of the ground to help or to invite the birds to land? And of course, it was a trap, right? I just wanted to feel what the birds had felt when they saw this magnificent place underneath them, with the height of the mountains, with the expanse of the fields and the colors, and then having to be able to feel the aroma of grass in the middle of all the flowers, because the flowers have much stronger. In other words, feeling every single bit, every single detail, let's just say, every single bit of what was underneath their feet that was just drawing them to come. The attraction, the beauty of earth, the beauty of land, the beauty of feeling, of wanting to be a part of something. And that was the trap, which we've talked about today, actually, the trap of life that we feel a lot when we are landing sometimes in a wrong place. So that was the whole thing. But this whole the sentence had come from me. It's a fabulous musical production as well. It comes from the poetry of one of the greatest contemporary poets of Iran, Sohrab Sepehri, and it's so beautiful in the way it sounds, the way he written the 3-line poem. I'm going to read it for you. The way that these words are put together is what is the attraction that actually has brought the birds to land in this place. And
Wow.
I'm going to read it. دشت هایی چه فراخ، کوه هایی چه بلند، در گلستانه چه بوی علفی می آید. This is made into a beautiful music, a production actually, and that says everything that I was trying to create the image of.
The green is very striking here, Gitty. I feel that the lands have been kissed by the sun, but looking at it, I don't know if you can see, it also resembles the shape of a bird. So you've got the head and one wing, so it looks as if the land itself is of a bird landing. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. And the spirit in the tree.
Yeah, Giddy, you were describing the beauty of everything that brings the bird down to the earth, but I think in this, it's your beauty that's capturing the bird. And you also made a comment about you don't know what's going on with everybody's paintings. I feel the same way about yours. I'm like, you've really been going wild.
Wow.
In the best way.
How wonderful, Kate, for you to say this, because that's actually is the bird of my mind that the beauty was drawing to land on this.
So what
Giddy,
I'm
it's like
is when you were you're reading the poem or the statement. Of course, we can't understand it, but it's the rhythm, and again, it's the rhythm, and I feel the rhythm in here and the rhythm in your reading.
It is the expanse of the fields, the height of the mountains. What an aroma of grass coming from the flower field.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I was, when I see this, it feels like a very sensual encounter between all of these elements of the water meeting the land, meeting the trees, meeting the heights of the mountain. I love
It's
it.
beautiful, Giddy. I love it. The bird that Kavita saw, I see as well, and I see this capturing of the beak. It's the quieting of the beak, and that is the place where the bird is captured, but it's captured the land, and your words that you spoke in Pharisee just touched me so deeply. It was like a booming drum inside my heart, and I wanted you to read them again because they're just so powerful. I love this poet.
Next, we have fusion artist Isabel, the angel of forgiveness.
Beautiful.
I guess that is how you get out of the trap, right? Is through forgiveness.
Such a unique painting. We always seen going from earth to heavens in the paintings. Here is we can see from heaven touching the earth.
Just came very spontaneously.
and she's coming down with such love and affection.
Heaven touching the earth. Wow. It's the landing of the birds in their whole joy of what they've been experiencing in heaven. So they're still delicate coming down to touch the earth. And the earth is so solid, strong, right below.
Wow.
Mhm. I love the complexity within the simplicity.
The complexity of the concept. In a simple painting that you would see this angel coming down.
Also, so beautiful. Her palettes are limited to a certain number of certain colors, but they have the world of variation. You know, she uses the blue and yellow in so many different parts of her work.
Yeah.
So many times. You know, that relationship of these colors are so different and so beautiful depending on the mood of what she's and the subject. So beautiful.
And joy, orange joy. Yeah.
And next we have fusion artist Kate. This is titled The Heart of Kuan Yin.
Sorry about that. The heart of what?
Kuan Yin.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Beautiful Kuan Yin.
I've been going through that internal battle the last 2 sessions. Rurik has really made me step out of my comfort zone. I've actually, last session and this session, I've moved to canvas. I was only on a little tiny watercolor pad for most of my artwork. And like Chris had mentioned, I also have been very cognizant of just what I want to work with material-wise. And the last 2 sessions, I've been using crystal pigments that are like actual crystals, but like blending it up in a medium and then just going wild. And it feels really amazing.
It looks really amazing.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, the painting actually is bringing in the energy of crystals in itself. The painting glows. I feel like I'm looking into a light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It goes beyond the visual. Like my first thought when I saw it was like energetic shimmering that leaves the canvas. It's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Has a very celebratory aspect to it. You know, the spirit soaring. And Kuan Yin is so loving. I mean, this is her energy.
Yes, definitely. The pink, pink love, and definitely.
Yeah, I'm feeling very free right now.
Kate, I really love this. It feels as if you've managed to dissect a drop of heaven onto a really small. I'm surprised you said it's on such a small space. It's like you've siphoned it down and just captured the essence of something very magical and beautiful.
Yeah, this is on a bigger canvas.
Is it? Beautiful.
Yeah. Like the last 2 times I've actually done canvas, I haven't been working on canvas. Like this whole time I've been on watercolor paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
It does give you a sense of freedom, doesn't it, to work a little bigger?
Yeah.
It seems to be a theme we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Feels so multidimensional, and that you're expressing different realms so beautifully in this cave.
Gorgeous.
Next I have fusion artist Lauren. It's titled The Courage of Experience. This piece captures the moment the narrator of the saga of flight decides to explore the blue globe. It symbolizes her courageous decision to venture into the unknown, embracing the highs and lows that life on Earth brings.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yes, really very beautiful.
It has the quality of bones to me. It like, you know, it is water, but it's like the bones of Mother Earth. It's in the heart. It feels like Mother Earth to me, the bones of Mother Earth that we all need to protect and stand up. Yeah.
And water is the bone of the earth, Rondi, right? The water
Yes.
is, yes. That's what makes Earth so different than all the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see like the young woman right there on the right, but on the left, it feels like there's another face that looks
Yes.
to me like an older woman, like the crone. It feels like the whole journey that a woman takes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like an ancient mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
This is cosmic.
Mm.
How did you do it?
Yeah.
Was this digital?
It's alcohol. It's part like alcohol ink, and then pencil drawing, and then layering in Photoshop. And I actually did like two different alcohol ink paintings. One was like the white and the gold, and I painted that on like black, like matte plastic board. And then in the middle, the blues and purples were different alcohol ink painting that I did on like a clear plastic, I don't know, plastic sheet, and then photographed those and brought it into Photoshop and drew the woman separately and played around with where to put that.
Lauren, are you adding
You
alcohol
are
to the
amazing.
paint, or are you drinking wine and then just painting?
Why would you say that? I can do alcoholic paint. Maybe
A little bit of both, huh, Lauren?
That would be a waste, I think.
If you can reach the realm from which you are creating this with alcohol, in paint or in drinking or however we can get it. This would be beautiful. This is totally out of normal realm. This is
Beautiful,
awesome.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Lauren, you're such an alchemist. I mean, you're able to just combine so many different elements into fabulous transcendental pieces.
Yes. Absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah. I think you drink
So what I'm wondering though is how does a person, I mean, is this something that you can hang on the wall? Do you print it, or how do you make it physical?
It would have to be printed, yeah, because it's all separate parts.
Yeah, the best way of doing it is to have it printed on a canvas, like a giclée, and just have little touches on it somewhere here and there, and then you can have it as a mixed media on canvas.
Hello. Yes, we are.
Can I share something though?
Sure.
I bought a book of Rorik's, and it takes me such a long time to read. So I said to Rorik, can I have a message? Is there some wisdom that you can impart? So I closed my eyes, flicked through the pages, and let the book open wherever it wanted to open. And there is a painting of his which is called "We Are Opening the Gates." And the words on the page were, "And we are opening the gates, and we do not fear, and we are trying, and we continue fishing, and we are bringing the light, and we see."
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
You
The
asked for
spirit of this class.
Yeah.
I love it. Fabulous.
And I thought, given what we're all going through, this seems like we're at the gates.
Yes.
And this is Rondi. Rondi, you're here with us, so I'll let you share.
Yes. Well, this was in the series that I did before I left with Paul Cerisere. And I don't know, I was not I don't know how to describe it. I can't find words to describe when I'm painting because they just flow through and they just come so fast. And this one is I can't remember what I called it. I think it's Coming Awake. Did you see it, Rosario? I can't remember right now. But it was coming from underground, it seemed like that because these were all landscapes that I was being inspired by with Paul. And I don't know, it just seemed like some of the paintings as I was watching the classes, because I couldn't always attend, seemed to jive with what, they seemed to be matching up somehow with what you were doing. And I thought that was an interesting point, but yeah, I don't know. These were emerging from me, and this was just at a different point. And if you see them in order, they just started to emerge in different ways. So I will wait for your feedback.
You titled it Breaking Through.
Randy, this is incredibly beautiful. This feels like the divine energy contained within the center of the earth.
Yeah. I didn't know that you had called what the title of it, but immediately when I saw it, I felt like the real and the imaginary, the known and the unknown. Immediately, like, that's the known world, and this one was the emerging, the imaginary, the unknown, now you said from beneath the ground, emerging into the surface. So beautifully done.
To me, it reminds me of, again, the flight with the being trapped.
Yes.
It's as if the spirit will not be trapped. And it just shows us that that's how it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's unique.
There's so much in the painting that, one wants to keep on seeing new things in it constantly.
And discover, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't think the painting should even have a title. It should be untitled because it allows us to use our imagination to travel with the painting.
Yeah.
Rondi, every time I see one of your paintings, I want to go straight to the canvas and just, the line, there's something about your paintings and what you can do with just a line, right? Just how it flows. It's just beautiful. And I love how you did those red dots just along the back there. It's sort of like, I just feel like doing this. And I don't know what your process was, but it's so cool to look at, just creates it's like in a distance, but it's, it's just lovely. It's really a lot. There's a lot there.
It changes as you look at it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Randy is another artist who is, paints in spirit of madness. I really feel that. She's totally free, plays whatever comes up, she just carries it through. It looks like a tram going through a city in the space, and people are sitting in there, they're talking to each other, they're watching things, and it just keeps on going.
Yeah, it's just amazing. You just out of just the red in the back against the blue, and you got that storyline, right? It's interesting.
The image to me is a reflection of an emotion, of inner emotions, and no thought. It's not thoughts. So whatever is put in there is just that feeling that you have to express yourself with color, with shape. It's a reflection of what is going on within the artist, and that's what's so beautiful. The freedom of which the expression allows you to do whatever you feel like doing. There is no rule to it. There is no standard for it. It's completely just expressive of the emotion. It's beautiful.
And next we have fusion artist Kavita.
Yeah.
Kavita.
Wow.
Last but not least, beautiful Kavita.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Oh my
much
God.
passion. So much passion and energy.
Mhm.
Whoa. Love it. I want to go there.
Yeah, me too. I like to roll in that. It's
Wow.
amazing.
Ooh, with a
And
lovely
Kavita, you titled it Trapped, and I thoroughly enjoyed another week in the richly colored mountains with Ulrich.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, Kavita, I always feel like I would love to get together and paint with you. It would be really a fun experience.
I would love to too. It would be a messy experience. I'm not messy in normal life, but when it comes to paint, there's more everywhere else than there is on the canvas.
Me too.
Well, that might come up soon. That
Yes.
we could all paint together.
Yes,
I
please.
hope so, please.
A retreat,
Yes,
a retreat.
please.
Yeah. At a 3 or 4 day retreat, we can retreat. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Kavita, your last two paintings have grounded me like tremendously, and it feels the colors, like even from the last painting, you had brought the heavens down to meet the mountains and the earth and the spring. And this again, it feels like an anchor of the heart, just so warm and comforting. I feel like you're home here.
Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful words.
Wow.
I
Does feel like freedom though, rather than trapped to me. Feels like freedom.
painting wasn't how I intended it to. So it's this lady in the bottom left that she changed the course of everything. She was not even supposed to be in the painting.
Oh,
So
yes.
I was going
saw
to
it. Yeah. Ooh.
Yes, I was going to paint a trap and it was all going to be quite different. And then I saw an eye. And I never see faces and images in my painting. So when Master Rassouli says, you know, if you spot something, then work with it. And I always look and I never can see anything until this week.
Right there.
And then
There's
this eye, I could see an eye and I thought, shall I play? She's there, but then my painting is going to be something different. And I kept looking at her eye, or rather she kept looking at me. And I just stood and I thought, okay, do I paint her or shall I just ignore her and just carry on doing what I wanted to do? But she kept staring at me. So then I thought, okay, now I didn't want to go in heavy-handed either. So I just tried to very delicately paint whatever outline I could see and then leave the rest there.
Beautiful.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kavita. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well,
Rosario, we don't have something from you.
I didn't submit it, but I didn't finish it. So here we go.
Oh, beautiful orange.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's my work in progress. So I didn't, but I did venture out on a larger canvas, which was like.
and Rosario, as you all agree, she has become the canvas for all of us, you know, to have that ability to paint. She is amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Rosario, for being who you are. Okay, without any further interruption, because we don't get a chance to do sketches in here or anything, but I want to introduce you the artist of the week. And then we continue with the second part of the story for the assignments. So let's begin with the video of the artist of the week. The master to inspire this week's painting is Odilon Redon. He was a French painter and printmaker who lived between the years 1840 and 1916. Redon is known in the art world for his mythological and symbolic paintings and graphic art prints. The inspirational art of Odilon Redon reveals his vivid imagination and mystical concepts. Instead of reflecting what he sees, he paints images from his dreams, nightmares, and mythological stories. He lets go of realism and emphasizes on emotion, color, and atmosphere. He creates a dream world inhabited by fairies, monsters, spirits, and other fantasy figures. Redon's paintings are the exploration of his internal feelings and psyche. They reveal the secrets beyond realism and take the viewers into the exciting world of uncertainty. His artworks transcend the ordinary. They lead us into the marvelous world of imagination. He uses small beauties of nature, such as flowers, seashells, and butterflies, as symbols that he paints with a fantastic intensity. The most notable of Redon's inspirational artworks is visionary subject matters. He places the rationality of the visible realm at the service of the invisible world. He uses bright colors to depict uncommon or imaginary species. Even the paintings that are dark in color and subject matter represent the triumph of light over darkness. Odilon Redon was born in Bordeaux, France. He started drawing as a child and took formal lessons in creating sculptures, etchings, and lithography as a teenager. During the first 20 years of his artistic career, he worked only with charcoal and black and white prints, creating dreamlike images. During the 1890s, after developing friendship with Paul Gauguin and Maurice Denis, he started adding colors in his paintings. He used oil and pastels to create vibrant color in his inspirational artworks. Although Redon lived during the time of the Impressionists and associated with them, he regarded their art as only an extreme form of naturalism, while his own world was mystical and imaginative. Many of his canvases show his special interest in Hindu and Buddhist cultures. Redon's popularity became widespread in 1913 when his catalogue of etching and lithographs was published. At the same time, he received the largest single representation at the International Exhibition of Modern Art in New York, Chicago, and Boston. Odilon Redon died in Paris, leaving behind a body of work that continues today to be celebrated for its uniqueness and ability to inspire the viewers. His dreamlike, mystical, and symbolic art has contributed significantly to the development of Dadaism, symbolism, and surrealism of modern art. Today, Redon's works are held in the collections of the Art Institute of Chicago, the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, Museum of Modern Art in New York, and the National Gallery in London, among other private and public collections. Amazing artist. Redon's influence has been exceptional in the modern art, and hopefully in the 21st century will develop more and more with your help, because he is a giant for the world to follow and learn from. But now let's immediately go to our second part of the story, which is the assignment for the continuation of this week, following the type of paintings that Redon is showing us. The Saga of Flight, Part 2. One day, while in the trap, I looked away beyond the bondage and saw a group of birds who looked like my comrades. Their heads and wings were outside the net of the trap. It looked like they were about to take a flight. As I paid more attention, I noticed some remnants of the bonds of snare were still wrapped about their feet. They seemed, however, to be happy, because they could fly together in spite of the bonds. When I saw this, I remembered how freely I could fly before, and how I had forgotten about myself. I was disgusted by what I had become accustomed to and wanted to die of shame. I thought I had to somehow join the group, else I would have to remain in this dungeon for the rest of my life. I cried out and begged them to come and help me find relief from my condition. When they heard my plea, they remembered the hunter's trick and became suspicious of me. This was a frightening thought and kept them away from me. I swore to our old camaraderie and the friendship that had never been stained by impurity. But despite my groan and oath, they did not let go of their suspicion and showed no interest in coming to rescue me. Once again, I reminded them of our alliance in the past and my present inability to do anything. They approached me. I asked them how they managed to escape from the trap and how they were able to put up with those bonds that tied their feet together. They helped to take my neck and wings out of the snare in the same manner that they had done before, and unlocked the cage so I could get out and join them. When I was able to be out of the cage, they told me to take the most of my freedom. I asked them to remove the bondage from my feet. They said if they were able to do such a thing, they would have freed their own feet. No one seeks medication from an unhealthy physician, and if they do, it's doubtful if the medicine would have any effect. Thus, I flew away with them. They told me we have to travel a long way to where we could have the bondage removed from our feet. We had to go through difficult and fearsome stages where no one could be safe for sure. In fact, we may lose our present state and be trapped once again in our former condition. This meant that we had to bear up with much agony as we went through the difficulties of the path. We had to be set to cross horrible pitfalls before we could reach our direct course. Thus, we began our journey towards freedom. All right. So we got this part of the story and we got the artist. And you know what to do for this week. Is there any question? Everything clear for the week? All right, then have a beautiful week and I'll see you next week.